What's going on, y'all? It's JD PicKell. Today on the Hard Count, we're going to unpack the Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban drama. Welcome into CFB with JD, the People's Channel for every single thing that you know and that you love about college football. It happens here on a nearly daily basis. Jack McKenzie doing the heavy lifting, help drive the show at my Twitter page, at JD PicKell. So, we do a show typically on a Monday and a Wednesday. That's just kind of our flow. Do the show Wednesday, and then Thursday rolls around, and all heck breaks loose in the college football world. The Twitter sphere is blowing up, so I check my phone and I see Nick Saban said, what? And then you wait, you just kind of scroll down, kind of roll on the timeline, and you see Jimbo Fisher's got a press conference going on. And my dude rolls up in the Wranglers labelless, I should say, water bottle, rolls into the press conference, and you can tell just by the way he walked up that he was about to get some stuff off his chest. And so, to give you the broad strokes, the night before, Nick Saban says in what was supposed to be a closed setting, to my understanding, no media was supposed to be there, in a closed setting, essentially says A&M paid for all their players. Now, he wasn't saying that specifically to target A&M. He was saying that in a broader scope to make a broader point that I'm not crazy about the way that NIL is impacting college football. I don't think it's good for the game. I think you need to be more concerned as a student athlete about developing as a student, developing as an athlete, and then being able to chart your course to hopefully, if you want to do that, and most athletes at Alabama do, play in the NFL. That was his soapbox. Very much a footnote on Texas A&M. Less than 24 hours later, as I mentioned, Jimbo Fisher takes that footnote, has a 10-minute or so, maybe 12-minute press conference just absolutely bashing Nick Saban and then refuting vehemently the claims he made against his football program. So the bullet points are, from Jimbo's side, we did everything right. In addition to that, Nick Saban's dirty. Go look into Nick Saban. And for those of you that know the background between Jimbo and Saban, they're friends. Jimbo used to work for Saban, actually. So for Jimbo to say that is a little bit incriminating of him. Say, hey, he's dirty, but you're like, wait, didn't you work on his staff? Never mind. All that's to say, Jimbo made it very personal and said, we're done. He said, Nick Saban's tried to call, we're done. This is it. Like, this is despicable. He compared him to God on several occasions, was kind of weird, made me uncomfortable. But from Saban's side, you see where he's coming from. It wasn't a jab at A&M. It turned out that way, but it wasn't a jab at A&M. He threw Jackson State in the mix there a little bit too. And I don't know how much homework is being done here in terms of the hard numbers. Jimbo came out and said we only have one of our early enrollees that had an NIL deal of the 11. But Saban's point is, hey, NIL is not impacting college football in a positive way. You should be worried about your development and not how much money you can make. And he's saying from a recruiting standpoint, NIL is becoming the carrot. He didn't say, hey, A&M did these things illegally. He's not bashing Jimbo. He's not bashing anything from a character standpoint. He's just saying we need some sort of change. On the flip side, Jimbo, you see where he's coming from because you got to defend your football team. You just had however many guys commit to your program, sign on the dotted line, say we want to be a part of everything going on in Texas A&M, and you make the point to say, hey, we did everything right. Don't come at us. Saban, you want to come at us? We're going to go ahead and make sure we talk to you about it. So, this is just a bad look for everyone. As a whole, this is a bad look for everyone. For Saban, you look like a sore loser because like he mentioned, hey, we finished second in recruiting behind Texas A&M, which is the school that made this a very big thing. For Jimbo, you look like you're kind of overly sensitive. And also, to call a 10-minute press conference when you have another coach making remarks on you, it makes you look kind of suspect. Somebody tweeted this out. I forget who it was. They said, that's a lot of words for someone who's supposed to be innocent. Now, we're not here to pick sides. We're not here to say who's right, who's wrong. Again, if I had to make a commentary on the way that this shook out, it would be Saban had a footnote. Jimbo had a press conference about that footnote. I'll leave it at that. But ultimately, I tweeted this out when it all broke, both of these guys want the same thing. Like, yes, they went at each other. Yes, they made it personal. Yes, it got ugly. But they both want the same thing. And if you read between the lines or heard the specific points they were saying that weren't attacking, mostly on Jimbo's side, they were saying we need uniformity in NIL and we need uniformity in the transfer portal. We need some guardrails. We need some kind of rules. They both said, I don't know the answer. It's above me. I don't know. There needs to be some sort of hand in there from the NCAA or from the government. There needs to be something put in place to put guardrails up for these kids because what we have right now isn't working. They both said that. They both matched up on that. So while this is a bad look for everyone, if you want to find a positive from this, it's that I think we have a catalyst for what's going to eventually put change in place quicker than it would have been. Because what you have is two of the biggest figures in the sport going at each other's head, and it's making headlines. And it's making headlines over the structure of college football. Put this another way, you have two CEOs going at each other over what's wrong in the company. Now, ultimately, what's going to happen is that issue within the company is going to get solved because nobody likes these CEOs going at each other. Nobody likes seeing two of the greatest coaches of the modern era going at each other. Not Saban and not Jimbo. I guarantee neither of them like it, especially the public. The public definitely doesn't like it. So if this were to be two entry-level employees, nobody cares. If you have two coaches, and this is no disrespect because I played at the FCS level, if you have two FCS coaches saying, hey, we got problems with this isn't right, and have them have a feud about it, maybe it makes a funny tweet, maybe it makes its way around the social media carousel, but it's not promoting any change. To have the greatest coach of all time and a coach with a national championship ring on his finger going at it in a very ugly and very public fashion, there's going to be some change. There's going to be some change sooner rather than later. So we're going to watch this thing like a hawk. Like I said, change is coming. It's around the corner. We're going to track all of it right here on CFB with JD. So we encourage you to subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter at JD PicKell. We do a lot of things there that we incorporate here. We'd love to have you along for the ride. We are going to keep the party rolling, and we will see y'all